Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon from Korea and to wherever you may be with us right now. So my name is Hwan Sun Yoon, and I'm from Korea Education and Research Information Service, (KERIS), and we have been serving as the secretariat for the ASEAN Cyber University project since 2016. So I have the honor of welcoming you to today's ASEAN Cyber University's International Conference under the theme of Leapfrogging the Challenges of Higher Education During COVID-19. So thank you again. This afternoon, I have the pleasure of sharing with you 5 different cases or strategies which will be shared by various group of players across the education field, and they include governments, universities, and from the collective side and from the individual side, we also have stories shared by instructors and learners themselves. I'm anticipating that we will be able to share experiences and different perspectives, different insights on how these different players have been responding to the sudden demand towards online education, which we were compelled to turn to in the face of the coronavirus. And for the people that are connecting us right now, just to inform you one more time, so we are joining you via YouTube streaming, and we have the chat room box open. So please, I strongly encourage you, and I request you to please kindly leave any questions or comments you would like to share with the presenters or with the ACU project in general. And especially if you are residing in Korea, I believe we may be sending you a coffee gifticon to thank your participation. So please feel free to leave any messages in the YouTube chat box. So without further ado, let us proceed right away with our first session. So I would like to invite you to pay attention to Korea, where Professor Namgi Park from Gwangju National University of Education will share with us a number of Korean initiatives that have focused to roll out online education amid the sudden crisis. And before that, let me briefly introduce you to Professor Namgi Park, who is currently professor of Gwangju National University of Education and was also previously the president there. And Dr. Park has spent over 30 years on researching on the field of comparative and international education, educational administration, and reform. And just an additional information, so Gwangju, the city where Dr. Park is located, is one of the regional hubs who is currently acting right now in Korea as a regional hub to support the sudden demand for online education in the higher education field. So without further ado, please, Professor Park, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you. It is great honor for me to have chance to share my experience and Korean experience. I put the title here as the triumph over the challenges of higher education during COVID-19. And I say triumph because we got something. And without COVID-19, we might have this kind of changes. But because of we owe to in some part to the COVID-19, and we can change and adjust rapidly to this new era. So I will talk about this one from now on. And like you see here, this is the channel. Like when you see this one already, it's quite different, right? So this is AnySet, the virtual studio. These days, even the television station, they don't have any set anymore. They use this kind of virtual studio. Then there's nothing but as if you are in some place. So I'm using this virtual studio temporarily with you. Okay, let me go to the So first, I will tell you what's going on in Korea during COVID-19 in higher education. And second, I will talk about Korean government's efforts. Korean governments really spent a lot of money, invest and do something. So I will talk about that one. And third, I will talk about forced online education experiment. I say here forced because we are not ready and suddenly we have to do it. And in the end, in some part, we are quite successful to adjust. So I want to talk about that one. And finally, I will tell you about the new model of higher education. I named it Smart Education. So like you see here, the empty lecture room, it really nobody there anymore during the time, and we used a lot of edge technologies. And like you see here, so when I want to tell you that in the first time last March, when we begin, we government suggests there are three types of distance remote education. First one is real-time interactive teaching lecture, and third one is learning management system video. So we uh, upload the video and they count it as a lecture. And third one is provide materials plus homework, and also it's considered as kind of lecture. And at the beginning, real-time interactive was around 50%, and uploaded video lecture was around 30%, and just material plus homework was 20%. But now government and the Korean society, they say upload just video is not counted as a lecture anymore. So what you have to do is, even though you put on your video on the YouTube or LMS system, still based on that one, you have to do lecture. So almost all lecture become real-time interactive lecture. So we usually, as of now, around 70% of them use a Zoom system and other Google, whatever, this kind of things. And when you go to the next, here I want to show you higher education students' university life satisfaction. This was last year's, but still, they quite satisfied instead of unsatisfied level is low. And the reasons for satisfaction, when we asked them, they said save time to go back and forth to school is almost 60%. So they just can be home and they really enjoy. And what we worry about now is now students don't want to come anymore. They just want to sit on their home. So we are spoiled too much. That's what I worry. And second thing is here, minimize contact with people. So they seek out like the keep like the conflict or what. So some of them say, I don't have to see any others anymore. So they like it. And the reasons for dissatisfaction was low quality lectures conducted by online is quite high. But during COVID-19 period for 2 years, lecturer, professors, the skill really increased and their the quality increased a lot. So people love it, begin to love it. And as of now, because of all these kind of changes, around 70% of students and professors want to have online teaching and learning even after COVID-19. So when I ask my students, especially graduate school case, my university now will open online graduate school program instead of offline, because all the teachers or students who live far away from universities come and go. It takes 2 hours, 3 hours. So they said they prefer to have online teaching and learning. So we will change that way. And like I tell you later, government allow that. Korea case, we are under strong control of the government, the central government, and they make all rules and they control us. But they make it like they change it now, so we can do whatever we want. So I will tell you about it later. So about the Korean government's efforts, the first thing what government did was it made Universal Distance Education Center. We call it UDEC. In UDEC case, when you see the government spent around $15.6 million, and we have one main center in Aris, and there are 10 local centers. And the what they did here is establishing LMS infrastructure in each local center for local universities. So they do this kind of things. So many universities has their own LMS, but there are many universities also who doesn't have their own LMS because they don't have enough money and what those kind of situation. So like you see here, until last June, we found out that this UDEC provide lectures saving stories. So around 118 institutions join, and around 6,000 lectures uploaded over there, and student around 16,000 students each month, they take credits from there. So this UDEC is quite something, right? And also it support for distance education content creation. So in UDEC, each province, it has a studio and live video lecture room and professional staffs to support those kind of activities. And also support for making and sharing lecture videos. So they support when you make it, they support, and when you want to share, they support it. Also, it's support for vitalization and quality improvement of distance education. So based on that one, distance education become quite popular and quite well done. And here, policy to support distance education of university by the government. So like you see here, rules for distance education was before COVID and after COVID. Before, the government say opening online courses, online credits is less than 20% of total credits, but now no limits. And online credit students that student can take should be less than 20%, but this one also no limit. And before this kind of things under the MOS guideline, but now it's university self-regulations, means you can do whatever you want. So this is a really big blast in some part of universities and some kind of things that we have to adjust. And here also government support for making and sharing lecture videos. And here, like you see, support for vitalization and quality and improvement of distance education. Also governments do this kind of things. And forced online education experiment last March, we are forced to do it without any preparation. So before this COVID-19, even the government keep pushing us, make your lecture like the video and the put on in the internet, but I never did at all. But as of now, in 2 years past, so I put a lot of my lecture in the online, in the YouTube or other LMS. So I say it's a open new horizon. So improve the adaptability of professors and students to the online education and improve skills on online device usage. And they are forced to open lectures to the public. So before, professors, they close their windows and doors, so nobody knows what's going on inside the lecture room. But now they videotape it and they open it, they share it, so everybody can know who do what. So this kind of things is possible. And increased interest in on and offline teaching methods and classroom management and student guidances. So here what I do is I'm the present chair of Korean Educational Administration Society. So I offer to all professors that make your own lecture video, 5 to 10 minutes, small one, short one, and let's share. So everybody put on in the special LMS. Then when you have lecture, you don't have to do lecture. You just can take it out and let the student can see it. If, for example, about this leadership, Namgi Prof is the best lecturer, then we'll see his. But show them the lecture, or sharing those kind of video doesn't mean lecture is that I told you. Because, for example, we have now ebook, means electronic books. Even though we give the ebook to student, we don't say, I did lecture. Ebook has their video inside too. So lecture is different from just give them the video. So I will talk about that a little bit more later. And here, so I will tell you my hybrid instruction experience. And this is on and off mixed instruction, like that means sometimes we do offline and sometimes we do online. So when you see my video here, let me show you just quickly. For example, this is the one that I take. So this is a real-time lecture, and I 바로 여러분과 videotape it. 해보겠어요? So my students there and those kind of things. So all these kind of things is going on here. So this is possible. So this we do this kind of things. Okay, then let me stop it. Okay, let me go back to my PowerPoint. And also, when you see here, upload video lecture and offer teaching materials. So this ASEAN system is quite convenient. You just videotape, then you just no need to convert. You just can put on, upload to the internet. And flipped learning. So I use a Korean quiz system, quizzen.com.show. So before class, I offer the text and textbook and video, and all students should read and watch my lecture. And when class begin, then I give them quiz for 10 minutes. So it was quite easy to do these days. And students and professors are spoiled too much by online teaching system. We enjoy it too much. So students say, Professor, please don't ask me to come. Just let me stay in my home. Sometimes they say that. So this kind of things. And we have online exam control towers. So during COVID-19, the examination is quite another issue. So many universities now this kind of control tower, so they can control even though you take exam far away, remote way. And here, findings and gains from forced online education experiment. The first one is blurred boundaries between offline and online education institutions. We have cyber universities, but now even offline universities offer many online programs. So the boundaries become blurred, and experiences that only offline education institution can provide. So what I mean is, now we find out, oh, only offline campus can do these kind of things. So when students begin to come, we focus on that more instead of not like before, and increase confidence to meet the diverse needs of higher education from non-traditional students. So through this online system, we could do that. And the role of higher education, the relationship between higher education and society, all these kind of things become smooth and better through online system. And but also weak points of each university is revealed. So we find out and we try to change it. And so the new model that I want to suggest is a smaller university, I say, offline university with professors plus online system. It's kind of like the before, like here, this Minerva School. When I see this Minerva School, we think it's an online university, but actually it's not virtual online university. It has a lot offline programs. So I call it smart log education, smart plus analog. Use all kind of smart devices, but we do that analog style, face to face in university. We use our offline campus instead of just do online, because without offline campus, there are many things that we cannot do. So let's use this our offline campus, but not like before. So smart of education is teaching and learning, and it's a blended learning and offline plus online classroom lecture room. So even though in the lecture room, not like before. Before we just have professors and students and just some kind of one computer, but now we use many AI programs and virtual programs, this kind of things. We do this kind of things and provide various kind of offline experience. So we try to offer seminar, lab, club activities, dorm programs, sports, social and cultural experience. By offering this kind of things, we can do better than before. Before, actually, we don't focus on that too much, not at all. I mean, not at all, but we don't focus on that one. But now we found out that is one of the main role of the offline campus. So we really focus on that one. And here, ways to organize to respond to COVID-19. This one is offered by McKinsey And it says the COVID-19 Nerve Center is about student, teaching and research, faculty and staff, and campus operation, finance and legal, and external communications. So this one is quite good model, so I offer you this one to share. And the final thing that I want to tell you is support for vulnerable students. During this pandemic, we found out there are many vulnerable students and we have to support their living expenses even for the poor students. And the other thing is the university and society should be concerned about financial and psychological panic of students. So in Korea, 20th, many of them in depression. And so we try to give them psychological support, and professors try to contact one by online, by phone or by Zoom or whatever. So we try to check, are they okay, or do they need anything. So during this online education, professors role become more, not like before. Now you have to contact one by one and have to check their even psychological uh, situation, and if you have any financial problems, those kind of things. So this is what I want to tell you. So here briefly I tell you about Korean government's role and what's going on inside the classroom and what should be the new model. So this is what I want to tell you. Thank you very much to have chance to share with my ideas. Thank you very much. Thanks.
So that was Professor Namgi Park from Gwangju National University of Education. So who shared with us the triumphs or lessons that they acquired over the past 2 years of this sudden distance education. So just to point out a couple of points for recap. So again, Dr. Park introduced one major governmental initiative called the University Distance Education Center, which is serving as a network of 10 regional hubs across the Korean country, providing hardware support and software support, which was also backed up by relevant laws and regulations on accrediting online classes, which in turn was able to give more autonomy to the local universities in order to conduct online education. Then Professor Park also shared with us the concept of smalog education, combining smart and analog, so, expanding the boundaries of the physical classroom to the online space, providing learners various experiences not only within the online space, but also continuously in the physical environment as well. And he also finally shared with us that the concept of giving a lecture is naturally changing for us to think again about. So thank you again. Thank you very much, Dr. Park. This time, let us move over to Indonesia, and we would like to share with you one more governmental initiative that has been implemented to roll out online education from a governmental perspective. So we have with us this afternoon Professor Aris from the Indonesian Ministry of Education, Culture, Research, and Technology. So as a brief background of Dr. Junaidi, Dr. Junaidi currently serves as Director of Student and Learning Affairs at the Directorate General of Higher Education, Research, and Technology, again in the Indonesian Ministry of Education, Culture, Research, and Technology. So also a professor, Professor Junaidi has been serving various roles, which stretches from being a research scientist to education attaché and to the Director of Education and Quality Assurance. So again, may I now invite Professor Aris Junaidi to share with us the government strategies in boosting online learning in Indonesia during the pandemic. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much for the chance. It's an honor for me to be here to give a talk about our new policy in boosting the online learning in Indonesia. So good afternoon, everyone. And I would like to share our PPT just for short time. I would like to introduce the government strategies in boosting online learning in Indonesia during the pandemic. First of all, that our government put the regulation on the base on the joint decree of our foreign minister, number 1, 2020. At the time, it's date on June 15, 2020. This is regarding the guideline for the implementation of the learning in 2020-2021 academic year and 2020 and 2021 academic year during the coronavirus disease pandemic period. This regulate the implementation of the online learning during the pandemic. So based on that joint decree, we would like to share about our strategies. The first one, I would like to talk about the online training for lecturer. And the second one, we publishing the booklet online learning, and also we improving, and also Indonesia MOOCs, we call SPADA Indonesia. So during the pandemic COVID, and based on the joint ministerial decree for minister about the implementation of the online learning, and then we have what we call it training for the lecturer. In 2020, for example, we've got 107,054 lecturer attending this training. This training is actually only for better understanding how to preparing the module, how preparing the material online learning, and how to be effective for the lecturer to give the online learning for the student. And then in 2021, again, we also give a training to our lecturer. The number is around 5,189 lecturer attending this training. And this training here is we inviting the many experts on online learning, online teaching. All the experts here will give the training to around 120,000 lecturers in Indonesia attending this training here. During the 2020 and up to 2021, we also have the webinar seminar series with the Australian Embassy in Jakarta, and we inviting as well all the expert lecturer or professor from the university in Australia to discuss about our lecturer and also our higher education lecturer to attending the seminar series during 2020 and 2021. And also, our new policy before we implemented the online learning because in March 2020, our ministry asking or have a letter instruction that all the student and higher lecturer and student must work from home and study from home. We only not on then a policy, but also providing with the free internet, access the internet, and also subsidize for the tuition free for the student. So all the learning on the what we call it online learning is provided by our ministry for free for the student, from the lecturer. They all given free access internet through the 13 provider that exists in Indonesia. And also for the student, we also provide the subsidize for the tuition free. So that means one semester is free and they got the access of the internet through the Wi-Fi of the internet. And then after the training, after the provided the funding for the student, for the lecturer, and then we also what we call it publishing the booklet, online learning booklet. So this booklet here is can be read by our student, our lecturer, how to implement it the online learning effectively. So the content of this booklet is about e-learning design, learning object, learning assessment and feedback, and also organize the e-learning, learning evaluation and learning facilitation. So this booklet is like a handy book for a student, for the lecturer, or who work from home and study from home. And optimize our SPADA or Indonesian MOOCs that we are provided. So this is the Indonesian MOOCs that we have. Yeah, we have SPADA. It's like a sistem pembelajaran daring or online learning system in Indonesia. We've got access here that are free for our student and also for our lecturer. The SPADA here, if we have a number here, we've got around 524 online courses. Also, we have 1,288 open courses and 18,032 open content. And in this content here, we have provide university around 582, but the partner university who join with this SPADA or Indonesian MOOCs here is around 1,982. The total lecturer who access this SPADA is around 41,712, and the student that are active using the open content or open courses is around 356,656. So the SPADA here is very, very useful for our students while they are studying from home using the online courses or open content. And this is also using very actively by more than 2,000 university and access this every day. Yeah. And the Indonesian MOOCs here, if we are feature of the SPADA here, the one is Indonesia Higher Education Institution Learning Management System, aggregator system. So the Indonesian Higher Education Learning Management System here feature that function to monitor learning activities or learning analytics in higher education institution learning management system. For example, the number of visitors at the LMS, the number of courses, the most visited courses, and so on, we can access online. So we can real time, we can access how many today, for example, the number of student access and the lecturer and so on. And also we facilitating the online course. So the SPADA Indonesia here is facilitated the university to organize online courses nationally. And we also providing the open course. SPADA Indonesia provide open courses that can be used by both lecturer and student to enrich their sources of material. We also providing the open content, so that means this open material is almost the same as an open course, but the open material is fragment of the whole material in a particular courses. We also have the online learning coaching service and the feature that can be used by lecturer to consult directly in the development of online learning content. So that means coaching clinic for a lecturer. So we are providing the online learning coaching services. The learning management system or content development assistance services is also provided by us. So the training assistance services in developing online courses content or developing a learning management system, synchronizing academic system data with the learning management system. The e-learning grant management SPADA Indonesia is also as a tool in the process of implementing the grant, especially for e-learning, starting from announcement, proposal collection, assessment, and reporting. So we provide this. So that means the lecturer or student very easy to see what the grant that we offer by through this SPADA. We've got at every year we've got about 15 type of grant that can be competitively applied by lecturer or student. For example, innovation learning material, for example. We give the grant to our lecturer who can develop the innovative learning material. And any other type of the grant, we have around 15 type of the grant to support or to add on the material that we can display on SPADA here. We also have the learning management system facilitation. That means that SPADA is also facilitated in Indonesia higher education system that do not yet have the learning management system to use the learning management system feature in the SPADA Indonesia. And also Indonesia higher education system clustering assessment. So as a system for collecting data on the assessment of higher education cluster, especially the implementation of online courses, the real-time user monitoring, the future that is used to monitor a real-time the number of users who are online along with the origin of the user institution. So the real-time future here we can open, and then we know how many lecture, how many university, how many students at that time using this SPADA. And we have the new model that we just launching just a few months ago about the Indonesian Cyber Education Institute. We just launching recently. And this ICE Institute is a marketplace of online courses. So that means here that the student can easily shopping the material on the module of the learning through this ICE Institute. The resources for e-learning is come from the higher education institution, for industry, for MOOCs, institution, individual, community, and right now is also come from edX and Coursera and other MOOCs that supporting the resources for this ICE Institute. And the student is very easy. Yes, student can access select learning courses and then verify and curate a learning or digital courses. And then after that, the student is enrolled in a course and to do the study. And then reporting, the system report, and then issues the certificate of accomplishment when the student finish and pass these courses. So that means by use this ICE Institute as a model of online courses marketplace in Indonesia, so that means give flexible learning. As our new policy here in the Ministry of Education, Culture, Research and Technology is we provide the flexible learning. So that means freedom of learning. So the student can anytime, anybody, anywhere can access equity, quality across time and space. And then they get a micro credential or digital badges, and they also get the certificate of accomplishment per online course. And this is part of the student, a part of the student learning in the university, and they got the courses and the credit, and then they can pass for their study. So, and then the last slide here, we also our strategy is also collaboration of with any other ministry and any other university overseas, and we push or encouraging our university to become a world-class university. We also are very welcome and also join research and publication with the well-known scientists, for example, and we also have the intensive industry, micro-credential, curricular development, a scholarship, university consortium, and also online learning development during and post-COVID-19. As I presented before that, we readjusted our budget, our funding, just for the development of online learning during the COVID and post-COVID, and then the student and staff exchange, and also sabbatical for professor. So I think this is all that I can share for today. So thank you so much for your kind of attention. So I come back the time for Mr. Chairman. Thank you so much.
So thank you again. That was Professor Aris Juanidi from the Indonesian Ministry of Education and Ministry of Research, Technology, and Higher Education. So to go through a couple of recap points. So first, Dr. Junaidi shared with us the role of higher education institutions in Indonesia, who I believe they would serve as the central acting body for the projects and policies in the Indonesian ministry. And he also shared with us, in that perspective, he shared with us different government supports that have been mainly provided in three aspects. So one, the first one would be empowerment through instructor and teacher training programs and support. And two, providing content. So he also mentioned the online learning booklet, which provided, I think it was a very holistic guide to implementing online education from the very planning, designing, implementing, and to evaluating, and also in the form of infrastructure, which he introduced the SPADA Indonesia, the biggest learning management system in the country. And I think he finally shared with us the dedication of the Indonesian government to expanding collaboration, not only in institutional perspectives, but also in individual level perspectives, so different exchanges. So I strongly encourage our viewers to watch out for upcoming possibilities for exchange. So thank you again, Dr. Junaidi. So let us now move on to Thailand this time. So our third session is from Thailand, and as you may already be aware, Thailand is another country that is very actively acting from a governmental level on implementing massive open online courses, MOOCs, from a governmental perspective. So I think most of you will already be aware that the Thai MOOC platform has been and is one of the biggest MOOC platforms, which have gathered a very wide network of universities across Thailand and also outside the country as well. So our third speaker, we have invited Professor Anuchai Theraroungchaisri from the Faculty of Pharmaceutical Science, Chulalongkorn University, Thailand. So Dr. Theraroungchaisri also is currently serving as the Deputy Director of the Thailand Cyber University Project, or the TCU, which is initiated by the Thai Ministry of Higher Education, Science, Research, and Innovation. So you can see that he has been and is actively involved in the Thai MOOC project and the academic credit bank system development as well. So today, Dr. Theraroungchaisri will share with us on the topic of key activities to support higher education during the COVID pandemic and beyond. So again, let us welcome him with a warm round of applause virtually. And please, the floor is yours.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank you ASEAN Cyber University project or the opportunity to Thailand Cyber University to let each other we share our experience, our key activity to support the higher education during the COVID-19 pandemic and also beyond. Yes, my name is Anuchai, Theraroungchaisri, representative from the Thailand Cyber University. Yeah. Okay, this is my presentation outline. Yes. Okay, I can move on. First of all, I would like to explain more about the Thailand Cyber University project. We have found in 2005 and under the we have worked under the Office of Permanent Secretary under the Ministry of Higher Education, Science Research and Innovation. That I will call in short MAC. And our mission is to initiate and support Thai higher education to utilize technology and to improve the quality of education in many projects. Also, we are the central body of cooperative among universities to synergizing the local university as well as the international university on online education, e-learning, and also the learning resources and knowledge sharing. This is our mission of the project. We have a long journey now from 2005 until now 2021. We starting try to encourage the sharing open courseware among university. So we starting on 2006 to recruit experts from university to produce their courseware that they use in their teaching and learning, in their teaching process, and to produce it as an open courseware and share under the learning management system of the project. So we have 800 open courseware shared among university throughout Thailand. So that is one of the success project of the Thailand Cyber University. From now on, I would like to call TCU as the short name of Thailand Cyber University project. On 2015, with the support from the government, with the budget from the government, we found ThaiMove as a MOOC courses provider platform. It's the first MOOC course provider platform in Thailand. The mission is to share online courses among universities, similar to the open courseware, but now with a more design and more content. So we implement the platform on 2015. And then on 2019, we transform the MOOC courses provider platform into the platform provider platform. Because of many institutes and many universities, they produce their own MOOC courses, and to minimize the investment on the platform of all universities. So we provide a platform. The university can provide their MOOC content, MOOC course in our platform for free with our support. So in 2021 now, from the statistic, we have 1.2 million learners registered to the platform. We give out 1 million certificates from the total 2 million registration to the course. That approximately around 40 to 50% of the student success from learning. We have totally 500 courses hosted in the ThaiMove platform, and 120 organizations, including university, to participate. We get recognition from the CAS Central that we are one of the country MOOC platform in 2019. I would like to elaborate more about how we got the content from the university. We would like to gain the content from the expert, from the expert in the university throughout Thailand. So we work with the university network. In Thailand, similar to Korea, we divide each region and we have one major university, one big university in the region as a central university hub. So in Thailand, we have 9 regions of university network. So in each region, we have one major university take care of any operation among university in the region. So Thai MOOC, we work with the networking, university networking in each region. We work with the university that be the hub of the region. So we ask the university, the professor to create the MOOC courses with the support budget from Thai MOOC. The category of courses should be content from their own teaching that I think that is useful and benefit to share to others, and also some courses created from local wisdom to share to learner and also to people that would like to learn. For example, the food, the cultural something, yeah. And also some content that are very good to share. So all university select category to share to produce the MOOC courses. Many universities that select the content from their teaching course that are very interesting and produce it as the MOOC courses. So totally until now we have 100 universities throughout Thailand. We have the university network share their MOOC courses and also 20 public and private institutions, including other universities from other countries. So you can see from this page that this is the banner of the MOOC courses. You can see that the banner was created to show the interesting. You can see that we have many area of content. For example, this is the data mining from the computer science, and this is the languages courses. This is the health science courses, and also many area courses. From this slide, you can see that we encourage the university teacher, the professor to create the MOOC course team to create the MOOC course that present the content in an interesting way. We encourage them to do a simulation, to do a outdoor shooting, and to use the animation to make the content more meaningful, and also many ways to present the content as interesting and engage the learner. So come out we have totally 505 courses in different categories. The top category is the computer and technology. We have more than 100 courses, and we have 73 courses from business and management, and also 62 courses on education and training, and also in health science. So this is the statistic of the courses in different categories, totally 12. Similar to other countries, in Thailand, the first wave of the COVID-19 hit Thailand on the end of February 2020. So at that time, Ministry or the Ministry and now to university to adjust the way of teaching and learning to appropriate to the situation. But let the university try to design and adjust the way of teaching and learning, and also open to the flexible way of education. Many universities find their ways to address the crisis. I move. We work with Messi, and we try to find a way to support the university and as well as the professor in the university. So we look back at our assets. We know that we have 505 courses in the Thai MOOC portal that can support the teaching and learning. So the ministry circulate to university that you can use the MOOC courses as a supplement or complement or an assignment to the learner. So to make the remote teaching a little bit multimode, they can learn from the professor via the remote presentation, or they can learn from the content in the MOOC courses in a complement way. So make it a little bit more interesting. So Messi circulate to all university and recommend to use the MOOC courses in the crisis teaching. From our observation in the statistics, we try to encourage university to use the MOOC course, and then the statistics show out that a lot of university and also the students in the university come in and utilize the MOOC courses very much. From this slide, you can see that we have number of learner registered to the Thai MOOC double the number from 2019. In this 2019, 2020, and 2021, we have double number of learner registered to the portal, and more in the near future. And we found that we have double number of learner learn and get success from the course, get a certificate too. So this show the statistic of utilization of the MOOC course. We try to analyze the pattern of usage, and it confirmed that during COVID-19, wave 1, wave 2, and also wave 3, the number of learner participate and visit the Thai MOOC web page shooting every time the COVID wave hit Thailand. And also we can confirm that the behavior of the learner. Normally the learner learn the MOOC course in the evening at night time, but during the COVID-19, the learner and the student learn the MOOC course in daytime. This is evidence of the utilization of the MOOC course. So this is one of the way. This is the statistic from the top course. You can see that the first top ranked course is the English language for communication. We got totally 124,000 of learners registered to the course, as well as other technology, psychology, and also other languages courses. This is one of the activity to provide the MOOC course to the university and professor to utilize as a complement and supplement. As I mentioned before, that the MOOC course was produced very interesting way of presentation that can engage learners. So learning from MOOC is another way to motivate the learner to learn. The second activity that also very success, we learn from the university and professor that all universities that find their ways to address, to overcome the crisis. And we know that many innovative ways of teaching and learning from the university. So how can we let them share the innovative way of teaching and learning during COVID via the remote. So we set the stage webinar, we set the online forum, set the online workshop, and to enable the knowledge sharing among university and also the professor. We call Thai MOOC Talk. We starting to do the Thai MOOC Talk 2020, and we do a lot of episode. We call episode every week. We invite the expert from university. We invite the expert from the industry. For example, Dr. Supot come from at that time he representative from Microsoft, and also many professors. Dr. Lin Pong from Khon University, Dr. Parinya, Dr. Pattarachat, Natapon from Chulalongkorn University, Dr. Endarin from Silpakorn University. We take turn to invite professors from the university to share their innovative way of teaching during COVID, and come out very successful. Totally, we got 243,000 person participate. Mean that every time the reach number of the participants in totally all Thai MOOC Talk. And interestingly, for one topic of Thai MOOC Talk, it is a teaching tools during COVID. This topic we gain a lot of interesting. Many participate at the real time, the online time, and also a lot of participants, the university teacher participate on demand. Totally, we have 133,000 view from all professor or participant, and 2,300 interaction. Okay. We go on to do the Thai MOOC Talk in a very interesting way, more interesting with the support from university. In this year, we set the theme as empowering next normal online education. So you can see we do try to create the forum online as a more funny. We keep the gimmick. We set the question, let the participant to interaction. So this is a way to engage the participant in our online forum. You can see that we try to make the atmosphere as funny, not so serious, so academic. We also interview the important person, the expert, and also we create a podcast for sharing the knowledge from university, and we also set the theme that Thai MOOC on tour to interview, to invite the professor from each university in the region to share their expertise. And also we set the conference, online conference, and invite experts from other countries to share, to disseminate the knowledge. So this is the activity that we found. It not only let the university to share the knowledge, but also make them more inspired. The professors that participate in the forum, they inspire from the way everyone try to find a way to do teaching and learning more effective, and also make them more confident to teach and learn during COVID-19 crisis. Okay, not only the university learner, but also the one who graduate that maybe have some problem about their learning during COVID and their graduate. We partner with the U2T, one project of the Ministry of Higher Education, to provide the knowledge to the one who graduate, to let them fill the gap of their knowledge and also let them have a good job. So this is one of the activity. So for the next normal activity, we learn that in a new normal way, it should be a blended mode of learning and also the flexible learning path that should be utilized many ways, classroom and also online and also MOOC course to combine to become a learning path and to let the learner have the flexible learning path. But the flexible learning path should be combined to let the learner have progress in their degree and also their professional work. So, and also we learned that many universities establish their own MOOC. So now we have a lot of MOOC in Thailand. So in the Thailand Cyber University, we try to cooperate to all MOOC platforms and try to synergize our resources and to produce the and to provide the service to the university as well as the people to make effective of the education. So we synergize by three strategy. First, we contact the university and we try to synchronize the MOOC courses that provide by different platforms to be a central one-stop directory of MOOC courses that enable the easily for the learner to find the courses. You can find the courses from every platform. So accessible very easily. And also we can learn that how many MOOC courses in one area. And that let us know that if you want to create new MOOC courses, what area that have very few courses or what area that we should add on more courses. And we do the roaming account. We have the university. How can we make it easier for the learner to log into our platform, all platform, or participate platform with one user and password. You don't have, if they have many passwords that maybe easily to forget. So we try to make a mechanism called roaming account, and many universities join us and try to set the the system to allow the learner to usually university account and to log into to many platforms. And also this is the last strategy try to encourage learning for many ways from the MOOC platform and after they graduate from the courses and then if they go to if they graduate from the MOOC courses their record of success will transfer to the credit bank. But if they go to test their knowledge in the testing center, their certificate will have more important into the level 2. All the certificate that they got will be the profile of individual learner. They can show their profile to the university and they can continue to learning to further their degree. So totally is the mechanism. We set we can call that this is an ecosystem of learning and we not only set in the Thai MOOC platform, but we also invite university, invite the other ministry that have the MOOC portal platform to participate and to connect and create the big picture together. Okay. Thank you very much. I would like to stop here. Thank you so much for listening.
So thank you again, Professor Anuchai Theraroungchaisri. So again, this presentation highlighted the Thai MOOC, one of the major initiatives of the Thailand Cyber University project. So again, just 2 points for recap. So we were able to see the network of national cooperation, which took place through 9 higher education regional network hubs And I think I personally see this very strongly resembling the Korean, the University of Distance Education Center, which was previously introduced by Dr. Park in Korean. And we were also able to see the number of MOOC learners that have exponentially increased since the outburst of the coronavirus. And this increase is not only on the numbers of learners who have accessed the Time platform, but also including the numbers of learners who have actually completed a specific course and have obtained a certificate in the platform. So with dropout being a very persistent issue in MOOCs, I think we can hear more about this in our later parts. So we have fallen behind, a little bit behind schedule, but if you could kindly give us a couple of minutes for us to adjust our technical settings. The time right now in Korea is 2:43. So if you could kindly come back before 2:50, so after a very short 7-minute break, which we will be adjusting our technical settings, we will begin right away with the next two presentations. So thank you, and thank you to the three presenters again. So see you after 7 minutes.